From historic Henley Field in Lakeland, Florida, this is the 2018 NCAA South Regional, hosted by Florida Southern. I'm Eric Williams. Well, it has taken just about 24 hours longer than we hoped, but we are finally ready to begin Game 2 of this South Regional as second-seeded Tampa faces off against seventh-seeded Albany State. Tampa won the Sunshine State Conference for the 19th time and enters the postseason with a 39-9 record. The Spartans are appearing in their 19th consecutive NCAA tournament and will send junior right-hander Clay Helvey to the mound today. Albany State rolled through the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference tournament, going 4-0 to clinch an automatic berth in the NCAA tournament for a fourth time. The Golden Rams will send sophomore right-hander Michael Reddick to the mound. Albany State will be the visiting team, and their lineup will be as follows. Head coach Scott Hemmings for Albany State will start this way. Riliani Familia, the right fielder, leads off. Nick Griggs, the designated hitter, will bat second. Trey McMillan, the center fielder, bats third. Tyler Morris, the first baseman, will bat fourth. Ryan McClendon in left field bats fifth. Quintico Dodson-Williams, the second baseman, batting sixth. Lawrence Hyde, the catcher, hits seventh. Chasen Rolak, the shortstop, bats eighth. And rounding out the Golden Rams lineup, Kelvin Wimbush at third base. The Tampa starting lineup under head coach Joe Urso will be Nick DeTringo leading off. Drew Earhart bats second. He's at second base. DeTringo's in right field. Darren Miller, the third baseman, will bat third. Harrison Bragg, the first baseman, will bat fourth. Connor Kreil, the designated hitter, will bat fifth. Danny Servin, the catcher, hits sixth. Steven Smith, the left fielder, seventh. Richie Rivera, the center fielder, bats eighth. And Brandon Galley, the shortstop, rounds out the Spartans lineup. I mentioned this is the second game of this South Regional. Delta State and Mississippi College got us started yesterday morning. However, that game was delayed throughout the day yesterday. Rains really took over the Lakeland area and, for that matter, much of the central part of the state of Florida. So we were unable to get anything more than about 7 innings of baseball in yesterday. Delta State and Mississippi College returned this morning and finished up. Delta State, the winner of that game, 13-3. So the Statesmen will advance into the winner's bracket and will play at some point in the future as the schedule is in flux with the rain situation. Mississippi College will drop into the loser's bracket and will play in the fourth game of this tournament when we reach that stage. After this one, we are scheduled to see Nova Southeastern and Montevallo face off. Florida Southern, the host school, has a bye and will probably likely not play until some.
This is the University.
As updates become available, but we're basically just looking for windows of time between the forecasted rain over the next few days to get some baseball in, as we've got up to 13 games of action here to crown an NCAA South Region champion and send someone off to carry for the World Series. For Tampa, Clay Helvey gets the start as he goes through his warm-up pitches. Helvey making his 11th start of the season. He's got a 3.14 earned run average and a 5.11 record in 63 innings of work. He's allowed 53 hits, walked 24, struck out 48. Opponents hitting 233 off the right-hander. Umpires for today's game behind home plate will be Ryan McCraney. At first base, Casey Sanchez. At second base, Brandon Schultz. And at third base, Perry Ramacone. Sunny, upper 70s, nearing 80 degrees here in Lakeland. And the forecast at last check shows clear skies until at least the middle part of the afternoon. So it should be good here to get this one in as Tampa and Albany State face off in their first game of regional play. For Albany State, I mentioned they won the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference tournament, making their fourth appearance here in the NCAA tournament. Last time they were here was 2015, and they will send Riliani Familia to the plate to lead off.
Leading off for Albany State is right fielder number 32, Riliani Familia.
Familia, 407 on the season, 11 home runs, 63 runs driven in. Clay Helvey's about ready, and here at 11:21 Eastern Time, we're about to get started here for Game 2 of the South Regional. That first pitch fastball is on the outside corner. Strike 1 to Familia. Familia, top 30 in the NCAA in hitting with his .407 batting average. Leads this team in many offensive categories and has been a key cog for this Golden Ram squad. As that 0-1 pitch is fouled off the screen, Helvey gets ahead, 0-2. Defensively for Tampa, it'll be Steven Smith in left field, Richie Rivera in center, Nick DeTringo in right, Darren Miller at third base, Brendan Golly at short, Drew Earhart is at second base, Harrison Bragg at first, and it's Danny Servin catching Helvey this morning. Familia waves at a breaking ball. He's down on strikes. That'll bring up Nick Griggs. Griggs, 321, 2 home runs, 29 runs driven in. Helvey's first pitch is downstairs, ball 1. Head coach Scott Hemmings coaches third base for this Golden Ram squad. Assistant coach Davis Knapp in the first base coaching box. As that ball's rolled to the right side, fielded by Harrison Bragg, who will touch first base in time for out number 2.
Now batting, center fielder number 16, Trey McMillan.
We'll bring up Trey McMillan. McMillan, 298, 2 home runs, 26 runs driven in. Albany State looking for their first win of NCAA tournament play in their history as that ball's bounced to shortstop. Fielded by Galley, throws on to first in time. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Clay Helvey and the Spartans. We're underway from Lakeland in Game 2 of the South Regional here.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
1.
Tampa will come to the plate after putting up a 1-2-3 inning defensively, and they will face Michael Reddick. Reddick will be making his 11th start of the season for Albany State, a 7-1 record and a 2.70 earned run average in 66 2/3 innings. 51 hits allowed for Reddick. He's walked 19 and struck out 58 batters. Opponents hitting .218 off the Albany State right-hander who has anchored this staff this year for this Golden Ram squad. He will face a dynamic Tampa lineup, which we reviewed for you earlier. Nick DeTringo, Drew Earhart, and Darren Miller, the first 3 to bat. This Tampa squad, 39-9 overall. They won the Sunshine State Conference, losing just 3 games in conference play. Michaal Reddick started a game in that series and pitched very well. 6 innings of scoreless ball and a 3-0 victory for Albany State. So Tampa will try to have some more success today than they had last time against Reddick. And Nick DeTringo will lead off, a .355 average with 7 home runs and 32 runs driven in. DeTringo, a first-team All-Sunshine State Conference selection this year. He takes inside. Also named to the All-Region team that was released yesterday, an honorable mention selection in the All-South Region team. As that's lined in the right center field and hanging up for Liliani Familia to make the catch for the first out. And we'll bring up Drew Earhart, .355, 4 home runs, 33 runs driven in. Reddick misses outside, ball 1. Defensively for Albany State, Ryan McClendon, Trey McMillan, Liliani Familia, the outfielders. Kelvin Wimbush, Chasen Rollick, Quantico Dodson-Williams, and Tyler Morris left to right across the infield. Lawrence Hyde is the catcher today for Michael Reddick. Squaring to bunt and taking over for a strike. 2-1 the count. Earhart, a second-team All-Sunshine State Conference selection. One of 7 Spartans named to the All-Conference team. Michael Reddick works from the stretch position for every one of his pitches, even with no one on base. Gets a 2-1 fastball over to even the count. No wind at all right now here at Henley Field. And that 2-2 is lifted into shallow center field. Coming in and having a drop in front of a converging outfield. Drew Earhart's aboard with a bloop single.
Now batting third baseman, number 10, Darren Miller.
So with 1 out, Darren Miller will bat. .365, 8 home runs, 43 runs driven in. First pitch swinging and lining one to right at Familia, who makes the catch for out number 2.
Now batting first baseman, number
Bring up Harrison Bragg. Bragg, .339, 18 home runs, 57 runs driven in. Leads this Tampa squad in both of those categories. Reddick's first pitch is fouled back. Bragg in the top 15 in the nation with those 18 home runs. Finished 4th in the Sunshine State Conference this year. Oh, 1's outside.
His first pitch was a strike, and everybody started cheering. They were just roaring.
Runner goes. 1-1's fouled back. Tampa has some speed. 4 guys in the lineup with double-digit stolen bases. Earhart doesn't run much, but has been successful in his 5 attempts this year. 1-2 the count on Bragg. That breaking ball is lifted in the air to deep left field. If it's fair, it's gone, and it is gone. Harrison Bragg got what looked like a breaking ball and got out in front of it and lines it over the 330 sign down the left field line for his 19th home run of the year, and Tampa has a quick 2-0 lead.
Now batting, designated hitter number 13, Connor Cryle.
So Bragg gives the Spartans the early lead, and that'll bring up Connor Cryle, the designated hitter. Cryle, .297, 2 home runs, 31 runs driven in. And first pitch is over for a strike. Reddick gets ahead, 0-2. This Tampa team is built on their pitching staff this year. They ranked third in the NCAA with a 2.80 team earned run average, but they have some offensive pop in their lineup, and we've seen it in the early going as Cryle takes a called third strike, but not before Harrison Bragg's 2-run homer gives Tampa the lead. It's 2-0 Spartans from Lakeland in the South Regional.
From court to court and lane to lane, under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II college sports.
Tyler Morris, Ryan McClendon, Quantico, Dodson, Williams, the 3 scheduled hitters here in the second against Clay Helvey. Albany State will come to the plate trailing 2-0 after Harrison Bragg hit a 2-run home run in the bottom half of the first inning. We are at the NCAA South Regional, our second game of the tournament, as day one was delayed by rain. 7 innings of baseball we got in yesterday between Delta State and Mississippi College. Delta State finished off the 13-3 victory this morning, and we are underway this morning here in Game 2. Montevallo and Nova Southeastern scheduled to follow here on what we hope is a long day of baseball from historic Henley Field in Lakeland, Florida, as this NCAA South Regional is hosted by Florida Southern. Tyler Morris, .316, 8 home runs, 39 runs driven in.
Leading off for the Golden Rams is first baseman number 18, Tyler Morris.
Selvey delivers. It's ahead. No balls and 1 strike on Morris. In that 3-game series between these two teams during the course of the season, Clay Helvey did not appear. I mentioned Michael Reddick started and won a game in that series for Albany State. It was David LeBron, Cole Aker, and Kevin Pimentel getting the starts for Tampa. Helvey today, and he's tied the side in order in the first, and this is with a breaking ball to Morris leading off here in this top half of the second. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. Morris down on strike. Second strikeout for Helvey through the first 4 batters of the game.
Now batting, left fielder number 23, Ryan McClendon.
That'll bring up Ryan McClendon. 287, 4 home runs, 30 runs driven in for the Albany State left fielder. He takes a fastball strike. Squaring to bunt and laying down a good one, but charging hard is Miller to field and throw on the run. Nice play, Darren Miller. He got a great read right when McClendon squared. Came racing in. He was playing about even with the bag and was able to field that and make that a rather easy play. Bring up Quantico Dodson Williams, 333, 3 home runs, 26 runs driven in. Helvey continues to work ahead of Albany State batters. Commanding his fastball here in the early going. A breaking ball swung on and missed. Here's the 1-2 to Dodson Williams. Just got a piece. Scott Hemmings, Albany State, in his second season at the helm. He's experienced a nice resurgence after a 23-32 season a year ago. Getting the Rams here to the regional for the 4th time as Dodson Williams swings through a fastball. He's down on strikes. 6 up, 6 down for Clay Helvey in the early going. Middle of the second, 2-0 Tampa from Lakeland in the NCAA South Regional. Danny Servin, Steven Smith, Richie Rivera, the 3 scheduled hitters for Tampa here in the second. Spartans with a 2-0 lead, courtesy of a Harrison Bragg 2-run home run in the first. Winner of this game will advance into the winner's bracket and will face off with Delta State. The Statesmen, winners of this South Regional a year ago, defeated Mississippi College earlier this morning. The loser of this game will play an elimination game against Mississippi College. That game expected to be the 4th game played of this tournament. This is the 2nd game of tournament play. I mentioned Montevallo and Nova Southeastern scheduled to face off later, so certainly a chance at that loser's bracket game between Mississippi College and the loser of today's game could be later tonight, depending on how weather blesses us or hampers us here today in Lakeland. So here's Danny Servin, 333, 5 home runs, 37 runs driven in for the Tampa catcher. Michael Reddick gets ahead, 0-1. Servin played at Tennessee a year ago, appearing in 16 games for the Volunteers. And he gets hit by that 1-1 pitch. Just got a piece of the uniform, and Servin's aboard leading off this second inning.
Now batting, left fielder number 5, Stephen Smith.
That'll bring up Stephen Smith, 290 with 11 runs driven in. Albany State expecting a bunt. And squaring and taking upstairs is Smith. Kelvin Wimbush well on the grass at third for the Golden Rams. Runner goes, swing on and blooped into right field. That's going to fall for a hit. Grounding second and heading for third is Servin. It's a perfectly executed hit and run for the Spartans, and they've got runners at the corners and nobody out.
Now batting, center fielder number 11, Richie Rivera.
So here's Richie Rivera, 286, 2 home runs, 19 runs driven in. Albany State will play the infield back in double play depth. Morris holds Smith at first, and Smith takes off. Fastball over, throw on to second, not in time. It'll be a stolen base for Stephen Smith. It's his 15th of the season. Aggressive on the base pass early for this Tampa squad. And got 2 in scoring position with nobody out. And that pitch is popped up in the infield. Wimbush into foul territory. Settles under it to make the catch. So big first out for Michael Reddick as he gets Rivera to pop up.
Now batting, shortstop number 9, Brandon Golly.
So that'll bring up Brandon Golly, the shortstop. That's 9th in the batting order. 260, 2 home runs, 27 runs driven in. Albany State still back in the middle. Corners are in. They'll concede a run on a ground ball to the middle of the diamond. And that's lined in the left center field. And that's going to get over the head of Ryan McClendon, go up against the wall. Servin scores. Smith's right behind him. It's a 2-run double for Brandon Golly. And the Spartans have extended their lead. It's now 4-0.
Now batting, right fielder number 4, Nick Vitringo.
So for Golly, his 28th and 29th runs driven in. And this Tampa squad very aggressive in the early going against Reddick, who I mentioned pitched 6 scoreless against the Spartans during the regular season. A pickoff attempt at second base, and Reddick able to catch Brandon Golly, who was vaulting around at second. He was extending his lead at the perfect time for Reddick to turn and throw on to pick him off. So erase Golly after his 2-run double. He's picked off second. There's 2 away. Nick Vitringo, who lined out to right his first time bats. And first pitch swinging and fouling it wide of third. Head coach Joe Urso coaches third base for the Spartans. Just named the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association South Region Coach of the Year yesterday. Also named the Sunshine State Conference Coach of the Year this year. That's the 12th time and 3rd straight year Urso's earned those honors. Jose Jimenez does the coaching in the first base box for the Spartans, as Vitringo grounds another one wide of third. Count 1-2. Urso is a Tampa product, a 1992 graduate of the University of Tampa, a member of their first national championship team in 1992. Breaking ball bounced to third, just foul. 1-2 on DeTringo. 2 runs in here in the second, extending this Tampa lead to 4-0. And that breaking ball is hit down the left field line, and it's going to hook foul. DeTringo saw limited action last year for the Spartans. Tampa, very successful year last year. Had, I believe it was 5 players drafted in the Major League Baseball draft a year ago. DeTringo 375 and 24 at-bats last year before settling into a full-time role this year. One and two the count. Reddick's pitch. That 2-2 is fouled off the screen, so good at bat here from DeTringo. As that baseball lodged itself into our fence screen backstop. Saw home plate umpire Ryan McCraney make a futile attempt to try to dislodge the ball. 2-2 pitch. Curveball freezes DeTringo and gets Albany State out of the second. But a 2-run double from Brandon Golly plates 2 more. And after 2 complete from Lakeland, it's 4-0 Tampa at the NCAA South Regional, hosted by Florida Southern. Clay Helvey's retired the first 6 Albany State batters as he takes the mound here in the third. 3 strikeouts through those first 6 batters for Helvey. As we play on here into the third inning of this NCAA Division II South Regional at the historic Henley Field. Just a short drive from Florida Southern's campus here in the central part of Lakeland, central part of the state of Florida. First of what we hope is several games today to get us caught back up on schedule after losing yesterday's day virtually to the rain that passed through. Bottom third of the batting order, Lawrence Hyde, Chasen Rawlick, Kelvin Wimbush to bat for Albany State. Lawrence Hyde, 198, a homer and 20 runs driven in for Albany State this season. It's over for a strike. And a one's hit on the ground to the right side. Drew Ahard fields. Throws on to first in time for a quick first out. That'll bring up Chasen Rawlick.
Shortstop number 3.
Rawlick, 279 with 22 runs driven in on the season. Fastball misses inside. It was Miles winning the SIAC a year ago and representing that conference, the NCAA Regional. Mentioned Albany State is their 4th appearance. Still looking for their first win in postseason play. Golden Rams been to regional play in 2006, 2010, 2015, and now here in 2018 under head coach Scott Hemmings. 3-0 the count. And 4-pitch walk issued to Rolick. It's the first base runner for the Golden Rams. It'll come with 1 out here in the third.
Now batting, third baseman, number 8, Kelvin Wimbush.
So here's Kelvin Wimbish. Wimbish, 302. He's driven in 20 runs. It's over for a strike. 1-1 on Wimbish. Wimbish puts the ball in play. He's the 15th toughest batter to strike out in the NCAA Division II this season. Pitch misses way outside. Nice play by Servin to collect that as it broke into the left-hand batter's box. Albany State trying to get something going. Now their first base runner of the game, and Chasen Rulick, who walked. He's at first. 2-1 here on Wimbish. Runner goes. Bounced foul. 2-2. Albany State had their way at the SIAC tournament, 4-0, and routing Kentucky State in the championship game, 19-2 the final. Scored 12 runs in the first inning of that championship game. 2-2 the count. Slow outside. So Helvey, after walking Rulick, has gone full on Kelvin Wimbish, the 8-9 hitters in this Golden Rams batting order. Liliani Familia and waits on deck. Payoff pitch, fouled back. Mentioned Wimbish puts the ball in play, 15th toughest man to strike out, and you see him working the count here. Check on Rulick, who was running earlier in this at-bat. And then a closer play on that pickoff attempt from Helvey. Bounce on the ground to the right side. Earhart to second for one. Return to first is not in time as Wimbush able to leg it out.
Now batting, right fielder number 32.
So with 2 outs, Wimbish will be aboard at first, and lineup will turn back to the top. And Liliani Familia, who struck out his first time, will bat. Familia, the team leader here for Albany State in virtually every offensive category. Runs scored, hits, extra base hits, including his 11 home runs and 63 runs driven in as he lines that one into right field. That's a base hit. Wimbish will stop at second. And Albany State will have a pair of base runners with 2 men aboard, with 2 out, I'm sorry.
Now batting, designated hitter number 13, Nick Griggs.
Nick Griggs, who grounded out to first his first time bats. Griggs had a big game in that series finale or in the regular season between these two teams, going 3 for 3 to back Michael Reddick in that 3-0 Albany State win. Wimbish at second, Familia at first with 2 outs here. Albany State trying to get on the board and cut into this 4-0 Spartans lead. Breaking ball misses low outside, 1-1. Foul back, count falls to 1-2. The Albany State squad has won 9 consecutive games coming into regional play. Their last loss was actually over a month ago. It was on April 17th to Georgia College, who is competing in the Southeast Regional at North Greenville this week. 1-2. Just missed. Helvey tried to freeze him with a backdoor breaking ball. And misses high. So count full, 3-2. Base runners will get a head start. Familia from first, Wimbish from second. A hit should easily give Albany State a run. 3-2 the count on Griggs. Line drive on a few hops up the middle. That'll score Wimbish. Turning second and heading for third is Familia. That throw by Rivera is not in time. It kicks away, but not far enough for any advancement. It's an RBI single for Nick Griggs, his 30th run driven in, and Albany State is on the board. It's now 4-1 Tampa.
Now batting, center fielder number 16, Trey McMillan.
So Helvey, after retiring the first 7 batters of the game in order, had a little difficulty here in the third. Walked Chasen Rulak, who was the first base runner of the day for Albany State. Now consecutive hits from Familia and Griggs have the Golden Rams on the board. Runners at the corners now for Trey McMillan. And he takes a curveball for a strike, 0-1. McMillan grounded out to shortstop his first time. Outfield straightaway against the Albany State center fielder. And that's hit on the ground to third. Fielded by Miller. Across the diamond in time to retire McMillan and the side here in the third. But Albany State gets on the board. And in the middle of the third, it's 4-1 Tampa from Lakeland and the NCAA South Regional.
My name is John, and my name is John. We both play on the golf team. On the course, we're extremely competitive with each other, but off the course, we try and help each other out as much as we can. There you go, thank you. Yeah. Up, boys. Cut there. Very nice. We are catting each other through everyday life.
What's up, buddy? How's it going?
Excuse me, sir. Quiet, please. Should we go for the spoon or the fork here? Tough call. Cheese looks a little runny, noodle's a little firm, low to the grain. What are you thinking? Tough decision, but I'm thinking spoon. I like it. Oh yeah, great call. Like it. Hey man, I'm proud of you today. Thanks man, I'm proud of you too. Thanks. Did I do good? You did a great job. Appreciate it.
Back to historic Henley Field here in Lakeland. As we move to the bottom of the third with Tampa leading Albany State by a score of 4-1. be 2, 3, 4 in the Spartans batting order. Drew Earhart, Darren Miller, Harrison Bragg to bat against Michael Reddick. Spartans have played a pair of runs in each of the first 2 innings. It was a 2-run home run from Harrison Bragg in the first and a 2-run double from Brandon Golly in the second that give this Tampa squad the 4-1 lead. Earhart, who singled and scored. This thing started for Tampa here in the third. He takes a off-speed pitch outside, ball 1. A check of other regional play shows that this is the only regional that's this far behind off schedule with the weather, as that ball's lifted a pretty deep left field. That turns McClendon around and flies out of here. Drew Earhart, a solo home run leading off this third inning, his 5th home run of the season. And Tampa answers right back. Albany State plates a run in the top half, and Tampa right back at it here. It's 5-1 Spartans.
Number 10, Darren Miller.
It's going to lead to a mound visit from head coach Scott Hemmings. Mentioned Reddick, 6 scoreless in that deciding Game 3 of the regular season series earlier this year. He's had struggles today as Tampa has been extremely aggressive offensively. They have not taken much in the strike zone, a lot of first pitch swings, and you can imagine they've been pent up after sitting for 24 hours and not getting out on the field yesterday. Taking it out on Michael Reddick at Albany State today. So here's Darren Miller, who lined out to right his first time. And that's a first pitch swinging line drive base hit into left field.
Now batting, first baseman, number 23, Harrison Bragg.
Harrison Bragg, a 2-run homer in the first, bats with a runner aboard here in the bottom of the third. Mentioned Bragg in the top 15 in the nation in home runs. Added that total in his last at-bat. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Throw to second on a hop is not in time. It's a stolen base for Darren Miller, his 9th of the season. He's in scoring position with nobody out. A mound visit here as Lawrence Hyde and Michael Reddick go through their signs with the runner at second. Looking around the nation, the Southeast Regional got their scheduled games in yesterday. Columbus State, Lincoln Memorial, and Belmont Abbey. 3 winners. That Southeast region comprised of a lot of schools that these South region teams play. It's non-conference games during the season. Ball's fouled away. Darren Miller at second, a run in here already for Tampa in the third, courtesy of a Drew Earhart home run. 0-2 the count on Bragg. And he takes the called third strike. Reddick freezes him with a breaking ball.
Now batting, designated hitter, number 13, Connor Cryle.
Third strikeout for Reddick, and Connor Cryle bats with 1 away. Cryle took a called third strike to end the first inning. Cryle unable to check his swing as goes around. Swinging through another breaking ball as Cryle fall behind 0-2. Mentioned Tampa has made the NCAA tournament in every season under Joe Urso. A year ago, they won a pair of games before bowing out up at Delta State, which hosted the 2017 South Region. Oh, 2 pitch. Hitting the shallow left. That's going to be caught. No, it's dropped. A nice diving attempt by McClendon. I thought he had it for a moment. He dove and had the ball in his glove, but when he hit the ground, it popped out. It's going to be a hit for Cryle. 7th Spartans hit of the day. Darren Miller had to stay at second as ball was hit into shallow left field. So first and second for Servin, who was hit by a pitch and scored a run in the second. And that's hit down the right field side. That'll drop for a hit. Turning third and heading home is Miller. The throw heads towards third, where Connor Cryle safely arrives. It's an RBI single for Danny Servin, his 38th run driven in. And Tampa's lead is now 6-1.
Now batting, left fielder number 5, Stephen Smith.
From our vantage point here behind home plate at Henley Field, we do not have a good view of either bullpen, but you have to figure there might be action in the Albany State bullpen as Reddick has struggled here against this Tampa lineup. 1 away, 2 on, runners at the corners as that first pitch is fouled back by Stephen Smith. Smith singled, stole a base, and scored a run his first time. Albany State infield will be at double play depth as that fastball misses outside, 1-1. Short lead by Servin at first. Nice block by Hyde as the breaking ball found the dirt. I don't think there's any questioning this South Regional is probably the toughest of any of the 8 going on around the nation. Field here in Lakeland have won 18 national championships. Add in an additional 9 national runner-up appearance, national championship game and runner-up appearances for this field. No other region in the nation comes close to those accomplishments. It's going to be a fun weekend of baseball here in Lakeland. 3-2 pitch. Hit on the ground to third. Coming home with it and air-mailing the catcher is Kelvin Wimbish. That's going to allow Servin to head to third. Stephen Smith is going to reach second as Wimbish had a easy play as Cryle was going on contact. An accurate throw would have nailed Cryle easily, but throw gets away allows Tampa to plate the 7th run of the day. Charge Wimbish with his 8th error of the season. And here's Richie Rivera with 2 in scoring position. First pitch swinging and lifting a fly ball to center. That should be deep enough to plate a run. Trey McMillan's under it. Tagging and scoring from third is Servin. And then taking third after the ball gets away is Steven Smith. So the throw from McMillan was made to third, which was the right move, but it skips away.
Now batting.
I believe that error will be charged to McMillan. Rivera plates his 20th run of the year. And here's Brandon Golly, who drove in 2 with a double his first time. Reddick to Golly. Fouled away. Winner of this South Regional will advance to Cary next week. Fouled away. World Series scheduled to begin on Saturday, the 26th of May.
There's still 2 balls in.
2-2 the count now on Galley. Gets a piece of that breaking ball, fouling it off.
You made us down. It was left up before, I don't know.
Staying in the at-bat is Galley. Spoiling another one. Galley made 20 starts a year ago for Miami. Batted .229 for the Hurricanes. 2-2 pitch. Popped up to the right side in foul territory. Tyler Morris gives chase and is able to make the catch to retire the side. But 8 Spartans come to the plate. 4 more runs come across. And after 3, here from Lakeland in the South Regional, Tampa cruising, leading Albany State 8-1.
I think we have a really great dynamic on this campus where students are involved in a lot of different things at one time. You're getting to meet all different sorts of people. There's so many opportunities for students to be involved on campus that there's something for everyone.
We've got ministries, we've got Greek life, we've got athletics and intramurals, we've got clubs, we've got honors and organizations. We've got just about something for everybody. And if we don't, no problem, we'll make it happen.
I love playing intramurals on this campus. I get to be athletic with all my sorority sisters and just come together as a team.
Lakeland creates a really amazing community for Florida Southern College's students.
I'm a really big fan of just venturing out and finding something new every weekend. This is a small community. this is a safe place and it's somewhere you can be yourself. We don't just say it, we mean it.
Top half of inning number 4, Albany State will come to the plate, trailing by 7 runs as Tampa has come out swinging against Michael Reddick and the Golden Rams. Tyler Morris will lead off this 4th inning for Albany State. Morris, McClendon, and Dodson Williams, the 3 scheduled hitters. Against Clay Helvey, who's allowed to run through 3 innings of work. Morris struck out his first time. And he hits one sharply to third. A nice backhand play by Darren Miller, who gets up, throws high, but Harrison Bragg able to field it and come down on the bag for the first out.
Now batting, left fielder number 23, Ryan McClendon.
And McClendon tried to bunt his first time, but nice play by Darren Miller. Prevented a successful attempt. First pitch fastball over for a strike. This Tampa team, very, very good on the mound, as we mentioned, but also defensively. Fielded .973 this year, good for 11th best in the NCAA. A staple of a Joe Urso team. Good on the mound, good defensively, and certainly more than competent offensively, as we've seen, making Tampa contender to reach their 18th World Series this weekend. 1-2 the count on McClendon. Ball's low. As you can see, sunny and still, fairly still American flag just out to the right of the center field wall. Not expecting any rain until the evening based on current forecasts as that ball's fouled away. Montevallo and Nova Southeastern will follow this one. A 2-2. This is high. Count runs full on McClendon here with 1 out in the 4th. Bounce on a hop back to Helvey. He'll sprint and underhand on to first for the 2nd out.
Now batting, second baseman number 4, Quantico Dodson Williams.
So here's Dodson Williams, who struck out in the 2nd. Dodson Williams, a junior from Griffin, Georgia. Swings through that 1-0. Infield defending against a bunt attempt with Harrison Bragg off the line and even with the bag as pitch misses low inside. Three and one the count now on Dodson Williams. Lawrence Hyde awaits on deck. And pitch misses inside. Second walk issued by Clay Helvey. And Albany State has a 2-out base runner.
Catcher number 7, Lawrence Hyde.
So here's Lawrence Hyde. He grounded out his first time. Breaking ball misses high, ball one. Dodson Williams has stolen 12 bases, been caught just 3 times. However, trailing 8-1, you wouldn't expect him to be in motion. Helvey falls behind 2-0. Helvey had good command his first 2 innings. Struggled a bit in third and fourth. Just walked a pair and gave up a run the third as he gets that fastball over. 2-1. And a check swing, foul tip into the mid of Servin for the second strike. Fouled away. Line softly to short, caught by Brandon Golly. Side retired, a walk and a man left. Middle of the fourth, 8-1 Tampa. This is the NCAA South Regional from Lakeland, Florida, and hosted by Florida Southern.
Realize that I can teach these athletes more than just lifting weights and sprinting and conditioning. I can teach them real life applicable skills. Nice job, nice job. That's a nice pattern right there. Nice pattern. Over, under, fellas. Over, under. Are you kidding me, Brett? You got to carry the 0.
It's not what I expected, but Coach Wallace is teaching me things I've never learned before.
Make sure you pull the shirt tight, okay? Good firm press up against there. Smoothing out the pattern. At the end of the day, I just want to make sure these athletes are ready for the real world. Hey, make sure you get full extension. Great job, everybody.
It'll be the top of the batting order for Tampa here in the fourth inning. As they lead this one 8-1, game 2 of 12 or 13 here at the NCAA South Regional in Lakeland, Florida. Nick DeTringo, Drew Earhart, and Darren Miller, the 3 scheduled hitters, against Michael Reddick, the Albany State starter, who has struggled here today. 2 runs in the first, courtesy of a Harrison Bragg home run for Tampa. They scored twice in the second. Brandon Golly delivered a 2-run double. And then 4 times in that third inning, highlight a Drew Earhart solo home run that got things started. And the Spartans currently hold an 8-1 lead. So here's DeTringo, who's 0 for 2. He lined out to right and took a called third strike.
Spartans is right fielder, number 4, Nick DeTringo.
And the first pitch swinging and lifting one to deep left field is DeTringo. That ball is going to carry right on out of here. Nick DeTringo, the 3rd home run for Tampa today. That's a solo home run leading off this 4th inning, his 8th of the season, extending the Spartans' lead to 9-1.
2, Drew Earhart.
So here's Drew Earhart. Singled and scored in the first and homered in the third. Takes ball 1. Two and 0 the count on Earhart. Every batter in this Tampa lineup has reached, with the exception of Richie Rivera. Rivera did drive in a run with a sacrifice fly, so even he's gotten in on the offensive explosion for the Spartans team here in the early going. Count now 3-1 on Earhart. That ball's popped up into foul territory. Wimbish gives it a run. That's going to get out of play. Three-two pitch. Hit on the ground. Thayer down the left field line. Gets down to the left field corner. Earhart will cruise into second. So DeTringo's home run, and now Earhart's double. Tampa back in business here in the fourth.
Now batting, third baseman, number 10, Darren Miller.
So 11th double of the year for Earhart. He's at second, and here's Darren Miller. Miller lined out to right, singled and scored, and stole a base in the third. He's 1 for 2. Darren Miller, a first-team All-Region selection in 2017, second-team selection this year. Second-team All-American a year ago as he takes a big hack and fouls that one away, 1-1. Miller started 50 games over his first 2 years of his career up in Tallahassee at Florida State. One pitch outside. 2-1. Obviously, you're in a double elimination tournament, as these regionals are. As Miller grounds that one through the left side. Earhart had to hold to make sure that cleared. Miller's second hit of the day puts runners at the corners with nobody out. We're going to have a mound visit coming from pitching coach Aaron Everett. As I was getting ready to say before Miller singled, when you're dealing with a double elimination format, it does create a situation for Albany State where you might make pitching decisions more based upon pitch count than results if you fall behind by a large deficit early. And obviously, you're not eliminated with a loss. You just fall into the loser's bracket. It's a long road back to championship day, but certainly possible. And to do so, they'll need to make sure they keep ample arms available. And that's why you see Michael Reddick, despite it not being his day this season. He's been great for this Golden Rams team. But Tampa has been aggressive and scoring runs at a high rate here in the early going. So Bragg homered in the first, struck out in the third. Drew Earhart's at third. He doubled. Darren Miller just singled through the left side. He's at first base. Infield a double play depth for Albany State as that fastball misses low outside, 1-1. Ball's lifted in the air, out of play, off to the right. Swing and a miss. A good breaking ball gets Bragg. He's down on strikes for the second time.
Now batting, designated hitter number 13, Connor Cryle.
So it'll bring up Connor Cryle, who's 1 for 2. He singled and scored in the third. First pitch swinging and grounding one through the right side is Cryle. That'll plate air hard. Miller will cruise into third. An RBI single for Connor Cryle, his 32nd run driven in. And it's 10-1 Tampa.
Catcher number 44, Danny Servin.
So here's Danny Servin. Hit by pitch and scored a run in the second. Singled in a run and also scored in the third. 12 hits here in Tampa bats in this fourth inning. Servin swings through a fastball, 0-1. Servin, a junior from Miami. Takes that breaking ball high. Count 2-1. Runner goes. Pitch misses low. No throw from Hyde. Give Cryle a stolen base. It's his 5th of the season. Second and third now with just 1 out. And a 3-1 count here on Servin. As he fouls it back. Albany State will bring the infield in. Try to cut off this runner at third. 3-2 pitch, fouled away. Mentioned the loser of this game will face Mississippi College, who lost to Delta State in this tournament opener. Winner will face Delta State. That ball's fouled way out of play off to the left. Still hopeful that potentially that game between Mississippi College and loser of this game will be played later tonight if weather permits. Here's the 3-2. Line into left field, a base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes Cryle around third. He'll score. It's a 2-run single for Danny Servin. Give him 3 RBIs for the day and 40 for the season. And the Tampa onslaught continues. It's now 12-1. And And that is going to do it for Michael Reddick as Scott Hemmings will head to the mound to make a pitching change. We will take a brief timeout. Tampa leading at 12-1, still batting here in the fourth. This is the NCAA South Regional from Lakeland, Florida. It's going to be sophomore right-hander Jordan Griffin coming on for Albany State. Griffin will make his 10th appearance of the season, a 2-1 record with a 4.28 earned run average in 27 1/3 innings of work. Griffin allowed 30 hits, walked just 4 batters this year, struck out 3. Opponents hitting .278 off of Griffin. He'll come in, inherit a runner at first base, and Danny Servin, who just singled in a pair of runs to knock starter Michael Reddick from the game. Can't say enough about how good Reddick has been this season for Albany State. 7-1 on the year. Him and Roman Aloy have led this pitching staff and certainly anchored it, along with Tyler Wilcher, who had a big tournament and late season run, but just not Michael Reddick's day as he is knocked from this game here in the fourth, having allowed 12 runs and a base runner at first of his responsibility. So it'll be Jordan Griffin as he goes through his warm-up pitches, pitching to Stephen Smith. Smith singled, stole a base and scored in the second, reached on an error in the third. 1 away. Outfield plays Smith to pull. And that ball's lifted in the air to the left side into foul territory. A great effort given by Rulick and Wimbush, but just going to fall outside their range as Rulick made a diving effort. That's hit on the ground to short. That could be 2. To second for 1 is Rulick. The turn is in time. So Jordan Griffin comes on and gets Stephen Smith to ground into a 6-4-3 double play to get Albany State out of the fourth. But 4 more runs come across, and after 4, Tampa leads Albany State 12-1 from the NCAA South Regional in Lakeland, Florida.
It's been great. We've been off flying to start the season. But we have dealt with a little bit of a language barrier.
We've got a big game Saturday, you know it. It's a 6-pointer. Quemps looks knackered out there. Ian, we've lost the plot. I tell you what, she's rose like a salmon. Libby's playing her like a guitar. That pass there is the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't think Dom could ever do that shot again if she tried. That is fantastic, Techers.
It's been rough, to say the least.
Stop your dilly-dallying around. Clear your lines. It's got to go Rosette.
I do think they're slowly starting to get it, though. Make sure you kick it really far.
And I'm thinking more, be like a fox in the box.
Try to score goals.
We throw the ball into Chloe. She's cheeky, she's clever already. Little bit of argy-bargy off the ball. She gets to the byline. She puts the ball in with a bit of quality. Leah's already on her bicycle. And Bob's your uncle. Before you know it, it's in the back of the onion basket.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
You ready?
We move to the 5th inning. Tampa with a 12-1 lead is going to go to the bullpen themselves. And it's going to be Cooper Krug. making just his third appearance of the season. Krug, a 5.40 earned run average in 5 innings of work, has allowed 6 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Krug is a junior. He's from Reno, Nevada. Transfer from the University of Nevada. And with the 12-1 lead, Tampa is going to cut Clay Helvey off. And
leading off for the Golden Rams is shortstop number 3.
Hope he can come back and contribute more this weekend. So here's Chasen Rulek. Rulek walked his first time. Takes a first pitch strike from Krug. That pitch is bounced to the right side. Earhart charges and has it go off his glove and ricochet into right field. It's a rare error for the sure-handed Earhart, just his 4th of the season.
Now batting, third baseman number 8.
And leadoff base runner aboard for the Golden Rams here in the 5th. That brings up Calvin Wimbish, who reached on a fielder's choice and scored the first Golden Rams run. At this point, the only run of the day so far for Albany State. That 0-1 is sharply hit to first, fielded by Bragg, who almost threw to second to try to start a double play, but with the 12-1 lead, wisely took the out,
Now batting, right fielder
as he couldn't quite get that ball out of his glove quick enough. That turns the lineup back to the top. Reliani Familia, who was 1 for 2, struck out in the first, singled in the third. Familia out of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Offers at that one. Count 0-1. Familia, first team all Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference selection this year. Also named to the all-tournament team, along with teammates Trey McMillan, Michael Reddick, and Tyler Morris, who was named MVP of the SIAC tournament. It's bounced softly to the left side, charging and fielding is Miller, who throws on the run to make another fine play. We've seen Darren Miller make some fine plays today, whether it's charging the baseball or on the backhand, as we saw earlier as well.
Now batting, designated hitter number 13, Nick Griggs.
So here's Nick Griggs with 2 down. Griggs drove in the only Albany State run with the single his last time up. Griggs takes outside, ball 1. Good breaking ball from Krug. Gets ahead of Griggs, 1-2. Lifted out of play. All of these games this week at the regional will be played to completion, unlike the regular season, where if the winning team has batted 5 times, the game can be ruled official, as we saw with Delta State and Mississippi College. You play out all 9 innings of postseason play. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. So Cooper Krug comes on and fires a scoreless inning for Tampa here in the 5th. We are halfway home from historic Henley Field in Lakeland, Florida. Tampa leading Albany State 12-1 here at the NCAA South Regional, hosted by Florida Southern.
42% of college women who are raped tell no one about the assault.
It is estimated that only 5% of sexual assaults on college campuses are reported.
4 out of 5 rape victims suffer from chronic physical or psychological conditions.
If you are a victim of sexual assault, you are not alone.
If you have experienced domestic abuse, you are not alone.
If you don't know what to do next, you are not alone.
If you are scared of retaliation, you are not alone.
You are not alone.
You are not alone.
If you are a victim of sexual assault, you don't have to be alone.
Report any instance of sexual assault to justask@floridasouthern.edu or call 863-680-6221.
Jordan Griffin, who induced a double play ball to end the 4th inning, back out for Albany State here in the 5th. He'll face 8-9-1, Richie Rivera, Brandon Golly, and Nick DeTringo for Tampa. Tampa has scored in every inning, 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, 4 runs in the 3rd, and 4 in the 4th as they lead this one 12-1. I'm Eric Williams. We are at historic Henley Field in Lakeland, Florida.
Leading off for the Spartans is center fielder
Second game of this NCAA South Regional. Rivera popped out and hit a sacrifice fly. He's 0 for 1 with an RBI. Griffin gets him to ground out. A nice play to third. Knocked down. Throwing from his knees, though, is Wimbish, and he's unable to get Rivera. Expect that to be ruled a hit, which it is. Nice play by Wimbish to keep that ball in front. Fourth time in 5 innings, Tampa's had the leadoff base runner aboard. And here's Brandon Golly. It's fouled away. Golly, a 2-run double in the 2nd, popped out to first in the 3rd. It's lifted into shallow right field, heading out and making the catches. Second baseman Dodson Williams, who tried to catch Rivera off first. Makes the play to retire Galley for the first out here in the 5th.
Now batting, right fielder number 4.
Nick DeTringo will bat for a 4th time. He's 1 for 3, a solo home run his last time up. One of 3 home runs for the Spartans thus far today. Runner goes. Throw to second. Not in time. Stolen base for Richie Rivera. Rivera's 12th of the season. He's in scoring position for DeTringo. And DeTringo lifts a fly ball to left, fairly deep, over towards the line is McClendon to put that one away for the second out.
Now batting, second baseman number 2, Drew.
That brings up Drew Earhart, who's 3 for 3. Singled, homered, and doubled. He's a triple shy of the cycle here in the 5th inning. He bats with Rivera at second. 2 away. Earhart takes a strike. 0-1. Earhart, a freshman from Tampa. His father was a former player for the Spartans program and is in the Athletics Hall of Fame at the University of Tampa. Earhart takes a strike. Earhart was named the top senior baseball player in Hillsborough County last year at the high school level. Tony Saladino Award. As he loops that 0-2 pitch, but it's picked off by Jason Rolock. A nice play by Rolock to snare that soft liner. And that is the first scoreless inning fired by Albany State today. 5 complete, Tampa 12, Albany State 1. This is the NCAA South Regional from Lakeland, Florida.
It's been a great season so far. We're super excited. There's just something about this freshman class. I can't really figure it out yet. Go Mocs! 1, 2, 3. Go Mocs! Woo!
It's been a great season. Tiring but worth it.
I got Lexi. Mine right there. Mine Lexi!
Hey, come on, guys, get those hands higher.
I just can't quite put my finger on it.
Move on to the top half of the 6th. Tampa leading this one 12-1. A defensive change for the Spartans. Senior Chris Gaffney will come on to catch and replace Danny Servin. Gaffney will bat in Servin's spot of the batting order, the 6th spot for Tampa. Gaffney appearing in his 7th game. Cooper Krug, who came on in relief of Clay Helvey and pitched a scoreless 5th inning back out there here in the 6th. The 5th inning recap. Albany State scored their run in the 3rd. They have 1 run, 2 hits, 2 errors. Tampa 2 runs in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, 4 in the 3rd, 4 in the 4th. That's good for 12 runs, 14 hits, and 1 error. As Trey McMillan, who grounded out twice, leads things off for Albany State. With the score what it is, 12-1, Tampa will be able to save some of their arms for potentially future games as McMillan bloops a single into right center to lead things off here for Albany State.
Now batting, first baseman number 18, Tyler Morris.
So McMillan's aboard. 3rd hit of the day for the Golden Rams, and Tyler Morris, who struck out in the 2nd and grounded out in the 4th, steps in. First pitch swinging, it's a double play ball to second. It's bobbled by Earhart, and all runners are going to be safe. So Earhart, his 2nd error of the day. I mentioned how sure-handed he was this season, fielding at a 986 clip. Picks up his 2nd error of the day, 5th of the season, and Albany State has a pair of base runners leading off here in the 6th. Ryan McClendon, he's 0 for 2. Squaring to bunt, and taking low, ball 1. McClendon was retired on a bunt attempt in the 2nd. Grounded back to the mound in the 4th. McMillan is at 2nd, he singled. Morris reached on an error, he's at 1st. And pushing a bunt to 1st is McClendon. Fielding and making the tag is Bragg. Would expect a sacrifice to be awarded to McClendon there, moving both runners into scoring position.
Now batting, second baseman number 4, Quantico Dodson.
And that brings up Quantico Dodson Williams, who's struck out and walked. He's 0 for 1. With the 11-run lead, Tampa's infield back in the middle, in at the corners. Dodson Williams is a threat to bunt. Cooper Krug. It's ahead, 0-1. Foul tipping that into the mid of Chris Gaffney as Dodson Williams falls behind 0-2. And Krug gets Dodson Williams to swing through a breaking ball. Second strikeout for Krug.
Now batting, catcher number 7, Lawrence Hyde.
Lawrence Hyde grounded out to second, lined out to short. He's 0 for 2. So Krug works from the windup with 2 outs here in the 6th and gets ahead with a fastball. No balls and 1 strike. The 0-2 to Hyde. This is high, ball 1. 84 degrees here as we approach the 1 o'clock hour in the east. Not expecting precipitation till later in the evening here in this central part of the state of Florida. That breaking ball hits the front knee of Lawrence Hyde, so Albany State will have the bases loaded now.
Shortstop number 3, Chasen Rolack.
And it'll be Chasen Rolack, who walked his first time. He reached on an error his last time. He's 0 for 1. Chance here to get Albany State a little closer as the bases loaded with 2 outs here in the 6th. Krug gets ahead, 0-1. Bounce to third. Fielding is Miller. He throws on to first in time to retire Rolack here in the 6th. So Albany State threatens but strands the bases loaded. And after 5.5, Tampa 12, Albany State 1 here at the NCAA South Regional in Lakeland, Florida, hosted by Florida Southern.
From court to court and lane to lane under the lights or under the sun. No one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub. With exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours. The home of Division II college sports.
Bottom half of inning number 6. Tampa comes to the plate. 3-4-5, Miller, Bragg, and Kreil, the scheduled 3. Jordan Griffin's done a fine job for Albany State, coming on in relief of Michael Reddick. Got the final 2 outs of the 4th on a double play ball and put up a 0 in the 5th. Mentioned the winner of this game advances to face Delta State. That game likely will be tomorrow. The loser will face Mississippi College. That game could be later tonight, depending on how the weather cooperates with us. Regardless, we'll take it right now as beautiful partly cloudy sky here in Lakeland. So here's Miller. Lined out to right and singled and scored twice. He's 2 for 3. First pitch swinging and lining one up the middle for a base hit. is Darren Miller, his third hit of the day. A lot of first pitch, early count swinging by Tampa, and it's paid off in a big way.
Now batting, first baseman, number 23, Harrison Bragg.
So here's Harrison Bragg at a 2-run homer back in the first. He's struck out twice in his last at-bats. Bragg played at Mississippi State last season. .290 with 3 home runs. Transferred here into Tampa and had a big season. 19 home runs on the year, which is in the top 10 in the NCAA. Oh, 1 pitch in the dirt. Nice block and throwing to first, and now making the throw to second is Tyler Morris. Nice play by Hyde to field it out of the dirt. Darren Miller caught in between as he tried to move up, realized he would have been unsuccessful, and a nice 2-3-6 put out for the first out here in the 6th. Two and one now, the count on Bragg. Bragg's from Lakewood, Washington. Three-one pitch, runs inside. Bragg will be aboard for the second time. One out walk here in the 6th. First walk issued by Griffin. So here's Connor Kryl. Struck out in the first, singled and scored in the third, and singled in a run and scored in the 4th. One evens the count at 1-1. Kryl, another senior. He's from Anthony, Florida. And he lifts one in the air to pretty deep right field. Settling under it is Familia to make the catch for the second out. So that'll bring up Chris Gaffney, who came on defensively in the last half inning. Gaffney on the season, a .206 average and 34 at-bats, driven in 6 runs. Gaffney takes outside for ball 1. Gaffney from Holtsville, New York. Transferred from UNC Wilmington. Takes high. Ball 1. A lot of experience for Gaffney. Started 36 games 2 years ago, 40 games last season. Takes a strike as that ball gets away from Lawrence High. That'll be a pass ball, allowing Harrison Bragg to take second base. Hyde's done a fantastic job behind the plate, as he said, to dig a lot of balls out of the dirt. We saw earlier in this inning, making a nice block and catching Darren Miller, trying to advance. That one, though, off the glove Putting a runner in scoring position here for Tampa with 2 away as Gaffney takes low. He's aboard in his first at-bat. And here comes Stephen Smith. Smith singled and scored in the second, stole a bag. Reached on an error in the third and grounded into a double play in the fourth. His last at-bat was the first batter that Jordan Griffin faced coming on in relief for the Golden Rams. And that's sharply hit on one hop to second. Dodson Williams makes the throw on to first to retire Smith. And the side here in the sixth. So Jordan Griffin puts up another 0, and we move to the 7th with Tampa leading Albany State 12-1 from Lakeland, Florida in the NCAA South Regional.
Leading off for the Golden Rams is third.
So here's Wimbish. He's 0 for 2. Did score the only run after reaching on a fielder's choice back in the third. First pitch swinging and lifting one to left center for Stephen Smith to put away for the first out. And here's Reliani Familia. 1 for 3, a single back in the third.
Reliani Familia.
And hitting one fair down the left field line is Familia. They'll round first and try for second. Smith's throw on target, but Familia able to beat it. Give Familia his 17th double of the season, second hit of the day. And there's a one-out base runner for Albany State.
Now batting, designated hitter number 13, Nick Griggs.
Nick Griggs, who drove in Albany State's only run with a third inning single, steps in. He's 1 for 3. First pitch swinging and lifting one into left center field. Rivera to his right makes the catch for the second out. So Griggs is retired. That'll bring up Trey McMillan. He's 1 for 3. Singled in the sixth. Tell you what, both teams have been aggressive at the plate, which is why we've played going on 6.5 innings of baseball in not even 2 hours, despite 13 runs coming across the plate. A lot of aggressive swings, and I guess when you spend all day yesterday expecting to play and not, come out this morning with an aggressive mindset. It's worked for Tampa, not so much for Albany State thus far. 0-1 pitch, bounced on the ground to third. Charging is Miller. He'll double clutch, but still throw in time to catch McMillan by a step. And that retires a side here in the 7th. The double by Familia, he's stranded. And stretch time from historic Henley Field with Tampa leading Albany State 12-1 from the 2018 NCAA South Regional.
Excited to have Romain back. First game, he had a couple goals and assists, and I really think the fans are starting to take notice of the impact he's making on the field for us.
Romain has really encouraged me to eat healthier.
That's not even you pronounce my name. It's not Romain. It's Romain.
Bottom half of the 7th. Jordan Griffin beyond for his 4th inning of relief for Albany State. He's put up zeros along the way, but his offense has been unable to get Albany State back in this. It's still 12-1 Tampa. 8-9-1 in the batting order for Tampa. We've seen some substitutions from Joe Urso as Chris Gaffney entered in the last inning, but it appears it's going to be Rivera, Galley, and DeTringo, the three to bat here in the 7th. Our teams for the next game, Nova Southeastern and Montevallo, both arrived here at Henley Field and have completed some of their batting practice off to the cages here at the facility. They will await, take their spots in the dugouts when we're done with this one. First pitch swinging and popping it up out of play is Rivera. Rivera is 1 for 2. He singled, popped out, and hit a sacrifice fly, driving in his 20th run of the year. 1-1 the count. About 45 minutes typically in between games, up to an hour depending on circumstances, but we will have Montevallo and Nova Southeastern with Andrew Pauling on the call right after we're through with this one. One and two on Rivera. Rivera checks his swing on that ball in the dirt. That's bounced to the left side. Fielding his Wimbish. Goes to his knees, pops up, and throws out Rivera for the first out. That'll bring up Brandon Galley. It's 1 for 3. Doubled in a pair of runs back in the second. Griffin gets ahead, 0-1. Tampa on their way here to their 116th victory all-time in NCAA tournament play. That is second only to Florida Southern, the number 1 seed here this year in the South Regional. 1-1 pitch has bounced the plate but foul. One and two. Jordan Griffin's done a nice job for Albany State. If he can finish out things, we'll have saved some pitchers for Albany State as they'll need some depth as they try to work back from the loser's bracket. Ball's lifted to center. Trey McMillan makes the catch for out number 2. Back to the top of the order, and Nick DeTringo, who's 1 for 4. He homered back in the 4th.
Now batting, right fielder number 4, Nick DeTringo.
Griffin trying to retire DeTringo and set Tampa down in order for the first time today. DeTringo can't check his swing, count even 1-1. Line drive, fair down the left field side. That'll head towards the corner. DeTringo will head for second. A 2-out double for Nick DeTringo, his 16th double of the season.
Second baseman number 2, Drew Earhart.
And Drew Earhart will bat with a runner in scoring position. Earhart singled and scored in the first, homered in the third, doubled and scored in the fourth, and lined out in the fifth. Triple shy of the cycle. Second attempt at that triple. And he lifts one in the air to right center field. Trey McMillan over to his left. He's under it to retire the side. And Jordan Griffin has been on point here in relief for Albany State. He puts up another 0, and after 7 complete, 12-1 Tampa. We are at the NCAA South Regional in Lakeland, Florida. Going to have a new pitcher for Tampa here in the top half of the 8th inning with Dodson Williams.
Leading off for the Golden Rams is first baseman number 8.
Morris 0 for 3, reached on an error in the 6th. Radke misses outside, ball 1. That's ball's line for right center. That's going to get down for a hit. Cut off nicely by Rivera, which holds Morris at first. Tyler Morris's first hit of the day. 5th for Albany State. And the Golden Rams have the leadoff batter aboard here in the 8th. So that brings up Ryan McClendon. McClendon 0 for 2. As a sacrifice bunt. Takes high outside. Ball 1. That's sharply hit through the left side. Back-to-back hits for Albany State. Put 2 on with nobody out. And Dodson Williams, who's 0 for 2 with a walk, steps in.
Baseman number 4, Quantico Dodson Williams.
Dodson Williams takes low inside. Casey Radke, son of former major leaguer Brad Radke, who won 148 games in his professional career. And the left-hander delivers, and Dodson Williams fouls it off. Breaking ball over for a called strike. Pitch misses away. On both sides, relief arms that have come in have done a fine job, which will definitely put both teams in better position as they move into their second game of tournament play. They haven't had to exhaust their bullpens completely as that ball's lifted into shallow right field. In comes Tetringo to make the catch for the first out. Expect to see David LeBron and Kevin Pimentel later this weekend for Tampa. 2 of their key starters this season. LeBron leads the nation in strikeouts. One 1-0 on Lawrence Hyde, who's batting for the 4th time. He's 0 for 2 and was hit by a pitch. Morris at second, he singled. McClendon at first, he also singled. Hyde takes a strike. Breaking ball over for strike 2. Spoiling that 1-2 offering is Hyde to stay in the at-bat. Just bounced wide of third. Hyde, a senior from Excel, Alabama. Began his career at Alabama Southern. Started 41 games behind the plate. And he waves and misses at that breaking ball. He's down on strikes for the second out here in the 8th. That'll bring up Chase and Rolak.
Shortstop number 3, Chase Rolak.
Rolak walked, reached on an air, and grounded out. Ball in the dirt, nice block by Gaffney. Rolak, a sophomore from Bluntstown, Florida. Radke misses up and away with that breaking ball. Two aboard with two out here for the Golden Rams in the eighths. Radke falls behind Rolak, 3-0. Kelvin Wimbish awaits on deck. Three and one the count. And that ball's lifted into left center. That's going to fall in for a hit. Rounding third and scoring is Tyler Morris. Jason Rolak able to bloop one in front of center fielder Richie Rivera. His 23rd run driven in of the year.
Now batting, third baseman, number 8, Kelvin Wimbush.
So it's 12-2 now as Albany State plates one here in the eighth. And Kelvin Wimbish, who's 0 for 3 with a run scored, bats here with McClellan at second and Rolak at first. And he takes at his feet for ball one. Bounce to third. Miller fields. Makes the on-target throw to retire Wimbish. So Albany State gets a run on 3 hits here in the eighth. Middle of the eighth, Tampa 12, Albany State 2. This is the NCAA South Regional from Lakeland, Florida, and hosted by Florida Southern.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Bottom half of inning number 8. Tampa will step to the plate with Miller, Bragg, and Kreil, the scheduled 3 against Jordan Griffin. It was pitched 3 2/3 innings of scoreless relief for Albany State. Winner of this game will face Delta State. The loser will face Mississippi College in an elimination game. That game between Mississippi College and what appears to be Albany State will be the 4th game played of this tournament. So as of now, the plan is to play this entire tournament in order, even though we're behind schedule with the rain yesterday. That would mean that loser's bracket game between Mississippi College and the loser of this game will be played prior to Florida Southern making their debut. Taking a look at the weather forecast, it looks like we're pretty clear until around 6 o'clock when the percentages rise, but that certainly looks better than it did earlier. So later that weather gets pushed back, the better for us as we try to get as much baseball in as possible today. As Miller, first pitch swinging, pops one up to the right side, and Dodson Williams makes the catch for out number 1. When we went to bed last night, there was talk that the weather could roll in around noon today. So certainly a good sign that that forecast has changed and allowed some time. But we're going to have a pinch hitter here for Tampa.
Pinch hitting for the Spartans, number 33, Cole Perry.
Cole Perry will bat for Harrison Bragg. Perry appearing in his 28th game, hitting .345 on the year and 55 at-bats. homered and driven in 14 runs. He fouls that one away. Back to the schedule. It is planned, I said, as of now, for that losers bracket game to be played potentially later tonight if weather cooperates. So keep in tune with each team's Twitter feed as well as the official NCAA South Region page. It's on the Florida Southern Athletics website. That pop-up off the bat of Perry is caught by Jason Rulack for the second out.
Pinch hitting for the Spartans, number 15, Danny Maynard.
It's going to bring up Danny Maynard, who will bat for Connor Kryl. Maynard, 241 on the year in 54 at-bats, appearing in his 27th game. 2 home runs, 8 runs driven in. Maynard, a junior from Burnt Hills, New York. Griffin's 1-0 is swung on and missed. Ball's lifted to the right side. In is Familia. Out goes Dodson Williams. It's Dodson Williams who makes the catch. And for the first time today, Tampa goes down in order 1, 2, 3. 8 complete from Lakeland and historic Henley Field. Tampa leads Albany State 12-2 here at the NCAA South Regional.
Court to court and lane to lane. Under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II college sports.
Last chance for Albany State here as they come to the plate here in the 9th inning, trailing this one 12-2. They will have the top of the batting order, Familia, Griggs, and McMillan to bat against Casey Radke, who came on in the 8th.
Staying in the game to play first base.
Cole Perry, who batted for Harrison Bragg in the bottom half of the 8th, will stay on. He'll play first base. Familia is 2 for 4 today. There's 2 of the 7 hits for Albany State. A single in the 3rd, a double in the 7th as he steps to the plate here in the 9th.
Leading off for the Golden Rams is right fielder number 32, Rolani Familia.
Radke, first pitch breaking ball is over for a strike. Good changeup from Radke, gets Familia out in front. 0-2 the count. Misses low. 1-2. Sharply hit to short and bouncing off the glove and heading into left field. Brandon Golly unable to make that play. It's going to be ruled a hit for Familia, his third of the day, as that ball was hit very sharply. While we've gotten a lot of rain here, as you're well aware, the infield was covered and obviously running at a little bit faster pace than maybe the outfield will. Fantastic job by the grounds crew to have this field playable before 10 a.m. this morning. If you saw any pictures of the facility yesterday, the outfield was saturated in water that was standing in many spots. Warning tracks obviously as well. But you wouldn't know right now if you looked out at the field that there was any rain at all recently. Fine job by the Florida Southern crew to have this playable. And 0-1 is dribbled to the first baseman Perry, who fields and tags first to retire Nick Griggs for the first out. That'll bring up Trey McMillan, who's 1 for 4. He singled back in the 6th. McMillan had a big SIAC tournament as he was named to the all-tournament team. And he hits one to short. Fielded by Galley. Low throw and nicely dug out by Perry at first.
Now batting, first baseman number 8.
The Golden Rams are down to their last out, and it'll be Tyler Morris, who's singled in 4 at-bats. Scored the Albany State run in the 8th inning, their second of the day. First pitch swinging and fouling it back is Morris. Radke's 0-1. Bounced foul, 0-2. Golden Rams down to their final strike here. Game 2 of this NCAA South Regional. Radke's pitch, swung on and missed. Morris goes down on strikes, and the ball game is over. Tampa, the winner today, defeating Albany State by a score of 12-2. We'll take a brief timeout, be back to recap this one in just a moment. This is the NCAA South Regional from Lakeland, Florida, hosted by Florida Southern.
My name is Nate Carson, and I'm the esports head coach here at Florida Southern. Esports is competitive gaming at the highest level, specifically at the collegiate and the professional levels. For our first semester, we'll be fielding 2 teams, one for Hearthstone and one for League of Legends. League of Legends is a 5 versus 5 MOBA, which stands for Multiplayer Online Battle Arena, where 2 teams try to destroy the other team's base. And Hearthstone is a competitive card game where one player plays against another player and tries to destroy their hero. It really helps to have a centralized location where all of our students can come and actually meet in person. Before we had the arena, all of our players and the people interested in competing on the Florida Southern team were gaming from their own rooms. Having an arena really fixes that problem. It's kind of like having a business, but all of your co-workers are like miles apart, and it's really hard to get work done because you don't really have like an office or a space to do anything. It's kind of become our home for our students who love gaming. The long-term goals of this program are to build a community for their students who are interested in gaming, because this is something that they love, and now that we have this arena, they have a place where they can game. We also have a streaming program where our students learn lots of skills which will help them after they graduate, involving live streaming. Even if you're not working in the gaming industry or esports, it will definitely help you in your career.
Back here to historic Henley Field, where Tampa defeats Albany 12-2. The win for Tampa improves their record to 40-9 overall. The loss for Albany State drops them to 28-17. Albany State scored their runs in the 3rd and the 8th innings, a single run in each. 2 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors. They left 11 on base. For Tampa, they scored 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, 4 runs in the 3rd inning, 4 runs in the 4th, 12 runs, 16 hits, 2 errors for the Spartans. They left 5 on base. The winning pitcher is Clay Helvey. He improves to 6-1. The losing pitcher is Michael Reddick. He falls to 7-2. With the victory, Tampa will advance to face Delta State in a winner's bracket game, most likely to be played tomorrow. Stay tuned for more information throughout the day today for game times and updates there. Mississippi College will be the opponent for Albany State as they fall to an elimination game that could be played later tonight depending on how weather goes on throughout the day here in Lakeland. Our next game will be Nova Southeastern and Montevallo. That starts at around 2:45. We're going to take a timeout and expect to be joined by the winning head coach of the Tampa Spartans, Joe Urso. And we will be back when Coach Urso's up here in the booth ready to go. Once again, Tampa 12, Albany State 2. This is the NCAA South Regional from Lakeland, Florida.
I think we have a really great dynamic on this campus where students are involved in a lot of different things at one time. You're getting to meet all different sorts of people. There's so many opportunities for students to be involved on campus that there's something for everyone.
We've got ministries, we've got Greek life, we've got athletics and intramurals, we've got clubs, we've got honors and organizations. We've got just about something for everybody. And if we don't, no problem, we'll make it happen.
I love playing intramurals on this campus. I get to be athletic with all my sorority sisters and just come together as a team.
Lakeland creates a really amazing community for Florida Southern College's students.
I'm a really big fan of just venturing out and finding something new every weekend. This is a small community, this is a safe place, and it's somewhere you can be yourself. We don't just say it, we mean it.
Eric Williams back with you here at historic Henley Field, where Tampa has defeated Albany State by a score of 12-2. We're joined by winning head coach Joe Urso. Coach, congratulations on the win today. Michael Reddick started for Albany State against you during the regular season and had some success. You guys seemed to be very aggressive early in the game. Was that the game plan today?
Yeah, he did a great job, shutting us out for 6+ innings over there. But, this is a different atmosphere here with the regional tournament, and we felt like he was going to miss arm side, and I think our hitters did a good job of getting the bat head out there, and you saw a lot of doubles and home runs to the pull side, and that was great adjustments on our offense today. But, the story for me was Helvey setting the tone for us on the mound.
And obviously, Helvey started. You were able to go to Cooper Krug and Casey Radke, who gave you some innings. Had to be good to have some of your key arms, namely LeBron and Pimentel, not have to use in today's game and able to rest them up for some potential starts here the rest of the weekend?
For sure. You have to try to manage the whole tournament, and as soon as we got the lead, keeping Helvey down to 4 innings allows us the potential, if you go deep in the tournament, to be able to use him again. So, we felt we had a lot of respect for them. They beat us 2 out of 3 earlier in the year, so, you've seen us in regional tournaments on game 1 throw our number 4 starter. Pimentel's been out for 3 weeks, so Helvey was our number 2. We had a lot of respect for what these guys could do offensively, but he just set the tone for us, and the offense separated themselves, big home runs, and allowed us to rest these guys to get ready, because with this weather, you're going to be looking at double headers. There's a lot that's going to go into managing the rest of this tournament.
For sure. Delta State will be your opponent in the next game. Obviously, a very accomplished program won the regional a year ago. Initial thoughts on your matchup, hopefully tomorrow with Delta State.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of the best offensive clubs in the country. They return everyone from a team that went to the World Series last year, and it's going to be a dogfight. We're going to need great starting pitching again, and it's going to be a low-scoring game that we're going to have to situational hitting and laying down bunts, the little things that you have to do in those type of games. I think whoever doesn't make the mistakes is a team that's going to stay in the winner's bracket.
Sure thing. Thanks, Coach, for joining us. Congratulations again on the victory.
All right, thank you.
It's the head coach, Joe Urso, of the winning Spartans. Tampa with the victory 12-2 today over Albany State. They will advance in the winner's bracket, as we talked about, to face Delta State. It'll be Mississippi College and Albany State, hopefully playing later on today. 2:35 now the adjusted targeted start time for this Montevallo Nova Southeastern game that will follow us. Thanks for joining us here from historic Henley Field in Lakeland. Once again, Tampa 12, Albany State 2. This is the NCAA